Am I the asshole for not running my potential baby names by my sister-in-law who grew up in foster care?
My wife, 28 female, and I, 30 male, are expecting our first child together.
We know the sex and we have built a list of names we both love and want to consider for our child.
But we have not shared the details with anyone else.
The sex of our baby and the name won't be announced until after baby is here. We don't want unsolicited opinions on the names we're talking about.
We don't want people to tell us to honor family members with the names. No judgment to anyone who uses family names, but that is not for us.
We also don't want people getting their opinions in on spellings or whether a name works better for a boy versus a girl. We have witnessed debates like that happen around other expectant parents who shared names, and we're not here for any of that BS. This brings me to my sister-in-law, 32, who is married to my older brother, 35. She grew up in foster care and wasn't adopted. From what she has talked about, she grew up going to a lot of different foster homes and had a lot of bad experiences in foster care. Some of it really tragic too. She asked us a few times what names we were considering, and we told her clearly we were not discussing names with anyone but each other. She'd let it go in the moment and bring it up again. She brought it up again a week ago. This time, instead of letting it go, she pushed. First it was, "I really want to know," and then it was, "This isn't a state secret," and then it was followed by, "I'm hurt you don't want to share with me." I asked why she was hurt when she wasn't alone in not being told. I made sure she knew nobody else was told names we were considering. But she said given her history in foster care, she expected us to run the names we were considering by her to make sure none were particularly traumatic for her or brought bad memories. My brother said we could tell her and she didn't have to tell him. I told them if she had a name or two that were particularly triggering, we could take that into account. But we were not letting her go through our whole list to decide what we can or can't use. She argued that I wasn't being compassionate. I told her she was asking for too much. My brother told me she was just asking for some understanding, and I replied that it was exactly why I said she could tell us names that are triggering for her. They told me that could be a long list. I told her she would surely know names that cause a lot of bad memories to occur. My brother told me I could be more open to trying to make it work. That I'm being too strict, and wouldn't I rather know now than when my baby is here? Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You offered a very reasonable compromise. If she doesn't want to tell you the most triggering names for your consideration, then this is completely her problem, and you owe her absolutely nothing. I personally would not be giving her my entire list of potential names, as it smacks of giving her way too much control over something that is actually none of her business and which is not entitled to have any say over. Not the asshole, her triggers are her responsibility to deal with. If it's such a long list, like she claims, then she undoubtedly encounters people with these names all the time. I don't think you should bend on this. Honestly, if it were me, this would be a hill that I die on. The entitlement and presumptuousness that she should get to review your list and approve of your baby name is out of this world, and that is why I would not bend. If she had approached it differently, like coming to you and expressing her fears that the name could have bad associations for her but promising to work on it, or accepting your compromise to share the triggering names, then I might feel differently. But to come in making demands and acting entitled to veto your baby name is beyond disrespectful and rude. Not the asshole. The only people who have a say in the baby's name are the parents. You're even bending over backwards to let her tell you the trigger names she doesn't want. I don't want to seem callous, but her triggers are her problems to deal with. If she needs therapy, she should get it. As she goes through life, there will be important people she needs to interact with who have those names. Meanwhile, let's look at the flip side. If you happen to choose one of her trigger names, this is her opportunity to cleanse it by associating it with a cute, innocent baby. So you offered the compromise of her sharing traumatic names with you, as opposed to you showing her your complete list, right? And you're willing to drop a traumatic name? Not the asshole if so. But your brother isn't wrong about it being better to try and work this out now instead of when the baby is born and named. I am so tired of all these posts regarding baby names. It is absolutely ridiculous. Only the legal parents have any say in what they name their baby. Does sister-in-law get triggered every time she is out shopping or whatever and encounters someone with a name she doesn't approve of? And if she does she then go complain to management because the poor cashier has the wrong name?
You are obviously not the asshole, and your sister-in-law is an entitled brat.
Her history has nothing to do with you, or what your future family is named.
Shut that shit down immediately and make sure that everyone knows your stance.
Not the asshole. She has to learn to manage her trauma rather than trying to manage your private decision for your own child.
How does she manage the rest of her life if she has a list of names that trigger her? Does she work only at places where she won't encounter anyone with her list of names?
I think she's more interested in being the first to know than anything else, and I'm pretty sure everyone would find out if she knew. Am I the asshole for agreeing with wife when she called my mom a pos parent? My birth family never respected me. I always got treated differently from the rest of my siblings. I was never good enough. I'm the only one with a college education and received my master's degree.
No one from my side of the family came to my graduation or acted like they cared, while my wife's family threw me a huge party.
I don't know if it stems from me being a weird emo kid when I was a teen because my family still says dumb things like, "Remember when you had green hair?" Like that was a defining moment of my life.
I had green hair for 3 months when I was 14. It's an odd thing for my family to be hung up on.
My sister-in-law was pregnant, and I share the name, Larry, with her father, who passed away last year. She named her baby after both of us because I helped her out financially and encouraged her to finish her degree. I saw my mother, and we, my wife and I, was babysitting little Larry because my sister-in-law was working. My mom said we should dye little Larry's hair green. This set my wife off, and she yelled at my mom, saying how pathetic it was that with all of my achievements, my mom still was upset that I dyed my hair green as a teenager. She called my mom pathetic pos parent. My wife asked my mom to leave the house because my sister-in-law wouldn't want little Larry around such judgmental trash. I stood there for a few seconds and was like, she's right. You should leave. My mom thinks I should have stood up for her, but I believe her obsession with my once green hair is odd, and my family needs to let it go. You and your wife are not the asshole. Your wife is a keeper and her family are keepers. The thing is, your wife is right. The fact that out of all of your achievements in life, the only thing your mom is fixated on is when you dyed your hair green as teenager. Keep your new family over your old one. My mom thinks I should have stood up for her. Like she stands up for you? She can't draw from a well she hasn't poured anything into. Not the asshole. Not the asshole and your wife is a rock star. Suggestion. Think of a time in your mother's life that she would rather forget or finds embarrassing, humiliating. You get the idea. Then bring it up at every possible gathering if friends and family. I.e., remember the time you ruined Thanksgiving turkey? God! How could anyone have cooked such dreck and served it? When push came to shove, and without any warning to prepare in advance, you made the right choice and you backed your woman. And obviously she completely backed you. You two are a power couple. You'll go places. Your mom should be happy. I mean, it's clear that you married well. Not the asshole. Not the asshole and your wife is a rock star. I am glad you have a healthy relationship with your chosen family since it's unfortunately not with your blood family. Not the asshole. I was a heavy metal teen and I'm 50 now and have a relative who still brings up excessive black eyeline from decades ago. It is so annoying. Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding after she made fun of my fiance's job? My 28F fiance, Alex, 30M, and I are getting married in a few months. We've been together for 5 years, and he's the love of my life. Alex is a talented artist who works as a freelance illustrator. He doesn't make a ton of money, but he's passionate about what he does, and I support him fully. My sister, Emily, 32F, has always had a more traditional outlook on careers. She works in finance and has been quite successful. Over the years, she's made several snide comments about Alex's job, calling it a hobby, and implying that he's not ambitious enough. I usually let it slide because I know how she is, but it hurts both of us. A few weeks ago, during a family dinner, Emily made a particularly harsh comment. She said, "I can't believe you're marrying a starving artist. Are you sure you want to spend your life supporting someone who can't even afford to buy you nice things?" Alex was visibly upset, and I was furious. I told Emily that her comments were out of line and that she needed to respect our relationship. She shrugged it off as a joke, but I didn't find it funny at all.
After that, I started to reconsider inviting Emily to our wedding. I don't want any negativity on our special day, and I know she'll probably say something rude or judgmental.
So, I decided not to invite her. When Emily found out, she was livid. She accused me of overreacting and said that I was choosing a man over my own sister. My parents are upset too and think I'm being too harsh, but they don't understand how hurtful her words have been. Now I'm wondering if I went too far. Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding because of her comments about my fiancé's job? Not the asshole.
I absolutely agree she will find a way to ruin your big day. If you addressed this issue with her previously, that should have been the end of it, and she should have apologized to all present for her rude comment.
I am also bothered that your family has never called her out for these comments.
Instead, they defend them.
I almost think you should disinvite them too.
Tell sis you only get married once and you are not going to risk her acting out.
And even seeing her would sour your mood. End of conversation. Done and dusted. Not the asshole.
Clearly she doesn't respect your future husband for the choices he makes, so why should she have any right to be there celebrating your love?
She shrugged it off as a joke, but I didn't find it funny at all.
Ask her to explain the joke. Ask her to explain exactly what about what she said is funny.
I've said this so many times, but the point of a wedding is to be surrounded by people who support you. Your sister clearly doesn't and doesn't deserve to be in the wedding, even as a guest. The parents need to back off and let you deal with this your way.
It seems that there are many people who don't know what a joke is.
It's not the same as a personal attack or bullying. It's also not a get-out-of-jail-free card. I've seen a lot of commenters on Reddit suggest asking the jokester to explain the joke every time they make nasty remarks and claim that it's humor. I don't know if that works, but you're not the asshole for wanting to avoid toxicity on your special day. Is he contributing to your household finances, or are you fully financially providing for the two of you? What do you do for a living? Not the asshole. If it really was a joke, she'd apologize for it and overwhelmingly tell you she didn't mean it. Am I the asshole for telling my brother-in-law his daughter would grow up to hate him? For as long as I can remember, my brother-in-law has been creepily obsessed with my sister, but because he's attractive and has money, everybody likes to pretend it's cute. I don't know how he convinced my sister to finally give him the time of day, but that's a story for a different day. Anyway, they've been married for 4 years and have a 3-year-old daughter together. I'm convinced that the only reason they even had a kid is because my sister has always wanted kids and she would have left his ass if he didn't agree to having one. The reason I think this is because he's outright said my sister is the most important person to him, even after their daughter had been born, and when their daughter was in the hospital he only came home because my sister told him she was scared and not because he was worried about their daughter. He admitted this himself. I think my niece and sister both deserve better, but I usually bite my tongue to keep the peace, and because he has a way of always making the other person look like the bad guy in front of others, so I knew I would get a lot of backlash if I said anything to him. But recently he missed his daughter's birthday because he went on a work trip that he could have moved or cancelled, so since my niece is so young, my sister celebrated her birthday twice since she wouldn't really know the difference. During her second birthday party he was completely unbothered and wasn't giving his daughter any attention. He was too busy watching my sister the entire time. I felt so bad for her because she's a complete daddy's girl and just wanted him to play with her on her birthday, and he wasn't encouraging her at all. The only time he bothered to give her attention was when my sister was around. Eventually it was just me and my brother-in-law, and I told him he should give his daughter more attention, and he just scoffed and claimed he did. He absolutely doesn't. I asked him if it had been my sister's birthday would he have went on that trip, and he wouldn't answer because we both know the answer is no. I can't remember exactly what else was said, but he told me to mind my own business, and I was feeling pretty angry on my niece's behalf, so I told him that he shouldn't be surprised when one day she was all grown up and hated his guts. I also said that my sister would catch on and she would hate him too, which I think got to him more than the comment about my niece. As I mentioned before, he has a way of making the other person look bad, so he spun a story to my sister and now she's upset with me because I won't apologize to him. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. It's never in her best interest to mind others' business. Their family matters shouldn't be one you should be stressing out. You are the asshole. You're intruding where it's none of your business. The center of this man's universe is his wife, and he acts like it is. You seem to think that it should be his daughter.
But the funny thing about children is that they grow up and leave the couple to what was before. You say that his business trip could easily have been changed.
It's absolutely none of your business to make this call.
You don't know how those sorts of changes can affect his career paths and his earnings.
Nothing he does involving his daughter seems to be good enough.
Not only do you make gratuitous comments about how his daughter will react to him, but also you drag his wife into your envisioned scenarios. He didn't need much spinning to make you look bad to your sister. You did that all by yourself. You are the asshole, but you are right about him making others look bad. In fact, he is so good at it. He made you look bad with your own words on a Reddit post that you typed on your own.
He is diabolical. I really don't understand why you hate this man so much. I'm getting majorly jealous. No man is good enough for my sister vibes. He loves his wife more than he loves his daughter.
That's healthy and expected, isn't it? How dare he make a toddler celebrate their birthday twice? How dare he pay attention to his wife when his daughter is present?
He's clearly not that terrible of a dad if his daughter is a daddy's girl. You're the asshole.
Going against the grain here, not the asshole, and your brother-in-law sounds like a sociopath. My niece grew up in a house exactly like this and I was too chicken shit to stand up for her. Now? She struggles with self-worth, severe depression, has attempted suicide in the past, drug addiction, and has even gone homeless without reaching out for help, because she just automatically assumes she's not wanted. How you interact with your kids 100% plays a huge part in how they turn out.
I don't understand how everyone else is saying you're the asshole here because you're literally standing up for her more than her own mother is. At least your niece is growing up knowing someone cares about her. Not the asshole, and the you or the asshole votes are getting a goddamn hard side eye from me.
Ignoring your child when they're begging for your attention is usually an absolutely monstrous thing to do. There are times when you need to show kids that certain actions won't get the reaction they want it to. But holy shit, this is not that.
At all. And Op is absolutely correct, anyway. Does brother-in-law want to lose the wife he's obsessed with?
Because if not having kids was a deal breaker, what do you think neglecting their kid will be?